Alright, so hi guys and welcome back to another video. So in today's video I just really wanted to take the time to talk about the 4th house to the 5th house crossover, that threshold. So I know that some of you have been enjoying these types of videos, so let's just go for it. Right, so let's start off then really by addressing this 4th house and how this 4th house plays such a huge role within our own personal development, because of course the self-development we touched on with the 1st house, but come the 4th house we come to this 2nd angular house, and so it's really this house by which we sink into ourselves. This 4th house shows us how our early years, how our childhood really do shape and mold us in a very unconscious way. You do it in a way that you're not even aware that you're doing it at all. You do it in a way where literally you are observing all of your family, and so this would be predominantly your mother, father, right, with those influences. But then again, siblings can come into it, but still the 3rd house is siblings, right? But this 4th house is family overall. So in a way, right, you come from the 1st house, which is you just born, and so you're observing your outer world and you're trying to figure out, well, how do I identify myself with being? And then you go through this chart and you come to this 4th house and you look back on the previous 3 houses and you think, well, this is my family, this is my environment, this is my schooling, this is my education, these are my day-to-day places that I go to and I'm a part of, this is my city, this is my hometown. These things all happen within this 4th house really because you reflect on all of these houses before. You reflect on your siblings, you reflect on your family, you reflect on your peers, and you reflect on those times, right? I mean, this is what Cancer shows us, this reflection, this nostalgia, looking back on your life. And so within the 4th, whilst it's still very early stages where it all begins, as you're going throughout your life, you realize that every experience you have has created this person, this idea, this perception of who you are. And whenever it comes to this sinking back into yourself, it's these times when you are just who you are, and you're able to give towards and care for who you are. I mean, if you think about it, with Leo being after the Cancerian archetype, it suggests that, well, if Leo's all about self-love, you know, loving the self and embracing the self, which we'll get into with the 5th house, Cancer is about caring for the self. Cancer is about nurturing the self. This is happening, right? This is happening in Leo's unconscious. So of course Leo is going to be about expressing the love that they have for themselves, because within their unconscious there is this Cancer archetype that is so caring, is so nurturing, is so protecting. You know, Leo already is a protective sign, but Cancer is also protective. They're both protective. I mean, come on guys, this is the moon and the sun. The moon and the sun are a unity, and this is the power of the 4th house, 5th house threshold, the power of the moon and the sun, and why it is that the moon comes before the sun in our self-development. We go from our Mars, action-packed, Venus, grounding ourselves, Mercury, intellectualizing conversations with others, the moon, inner pull, inner reflection. But then, as we get to the sun, express, inward, outward. This is the moon, inward, sinking in, and then the sun, outward, going out. This is where we take all that we have learned, and we use it with a purpose. We come to this sun energy. This is you springing out from that Cancerian shell and saying, this is me, this is me, this is who I am. Now, this hero on this hero's journey doesn't just stop there. This hero has a purpose. This hero has a specific role that they're playing, and this hero is going to understand more and more so different layers of themselves throughout the rest of the chart. They are going to become more aware of themselves, but still it is the sun energy that represents this conscious awareness where we understand that we are the hero within this journey. We are all our own heroes or heroines, that we are all actors and actresses in some way. We are all playing a role. We're all playing our own specific role. But it's this very role that is showing us our individual purpose. But Leo also teaches us about this feeling of being special, of being a somebody. You know, we can't deny, we all like attention in some way. You may be watching this and you think, I never want attention, I don't like attention. But you know, this channel talks about the unconscious, and there are some things that we do within our day-to-day that unconsciously we're wanting attention. We're wanting to be seen. We're wanting to be appreciated and loved and seen as a someone, like I said. And so perhaps one of the profound lessons that we can learn from the archetype of Leo, and also from the 5th house, is that we all want to be seen in some way. That we all want to be appreciated in some way. Of course we do. We are built for connection. We are here, yes, as independent individuals and beings, but within us, it is this primal need to connect. It is a primal need to connect, and as a way to actually connect is to express ourselves and to feel special. You know, that's why romance comes under this house. The romance and that feeling of being special and seen by someone else, that partner who just looks at you and is just completely lavished by you and just wants to devour you. That's the type of stuff in the 5th house. All of these things, all these expressions of love, of how you really extend yourself within love and how you approach that romantic side of love. The romance and the candles and the dinners and the dates to different movie theaters and the walks on the beach. Those things are very 5th house, because these activities in themselves make us feel special. They provide us with this sense of specialness that makes us feel good, because we know that whenever we feel like we're seen and we're really understood and we're really truly appreciated by others, of course those that we want to appreciate us, because naturally doesn't mean we want attention from everyone, right? Of course not. It's just that if I really have if I have a crush on someone, for example, and then I realize that they really like me back, guys, you know that feeling. You know that feeling when you like someone so much. I have a 5th house stellium, by the way, guys. I was always having crushes in school, continuously, and you know, I don't think any of them ever liked me back, but anyway. You know the feeling to have crushes and to know that that crush likes you. It's like it's so giddy and giggly and funny and embarrassing, and oh, what I do, how do I enter into this dating scene? You ever remember your first date, what you did? All that is under this house, all of it, because it's these things that we really are so excited about, and we want to explore with someone, because it's different. It's an extra flair. it's really entertaining if you think about it, to enjoy different pursuits and hobbies with your partner, or not even just with your partner or your crush or the person you're attracted to, which can fall under this house, but also just in general as you, to do those things within this house that really make you feel good and happy, where you create things. Do you write a book, or you paint a picture, or even if you're into maths or science, you do something connected with those things. You create within those areas. You can literally create within so many different areas of life within just this fifth house, if that makes sense. And you can see all of these opportunities when it comes to what you decide to create. Now, of course, it can depend on the planets and the signs that rule that fifth house for you, really, when it comes to how you approach, right? How you approach these activities, and what type of hobbies do you like? What is it that you enjoy? What spare time pleasures do you enjoy taking part in? So these things can show us the style in which we do that. It is a house where we amuse ourselves, where we entertain ourselves, and in connection with romance, to have that romantic partner with you and to do those entertaining, fun things with that partner, I'm sure is a really great feeling. So this leads back to that feeling of specialness within this house, that it's through these really exciting, sort of almost childlike experiences that ignite something within us. They cause this flame. This is Leo. This is the heart. You know, this this is the sheer excitement of just leaping into love. And that's why this house is also about speculations, and it's about fate, and if we'll take the chance to do that thing. And that is such a, I just see such a symbolism there in connection with love, that if we want to be in a relationship with someone, or get involved or date someone rather, it's about us taking the chance on that person, taking a chance and seeing where it goes. And that in itself can be really scary for some people, because a lot of us don't want to take the chance when it comes to love. And you know, this also leads into this house being connected with our sexual expression. Like I said in the last video, the 8th house is to do with intimacy, but then the 5th house is to do with casual sex. And the thing about the attraction and that casual sex, so the drives and motivations for us to, you know, want to be with someone sexually, there of course is something that we want out of it, right? It's saying that through that experience with someone, we also feel satisfied. We feel like we performed well, right? At least I think so. I think that that's something that a lot of people think when they go into sex, that they want to give their best performance. Another thing about the 5th house, of course, would be the creativity, and with creativity comes creation and recreation in itself. So that in turn can lead on to the likes of children within this house. And this is something that I want to touch on when it comes to the 4th house and the 5th. So the 4th house can of course symbolize the type of family upbringing that you had, but then it's also reflecting on, like I said, the other houses and seeing how that all played out. But ultimately the 4th house shows those unconscious drives and unconscious patterns that you developed whenever you were younger, that are just instinctive sort of within you, right? From those early conditioning, early experiences in your life. But the 4th house can also show the type of either it could be associated with either the mother figure, and then the 10th with the father figure, or the father figure with the 4th and then the 10th for the mother figure. But of course it could just be parental figures both ways. However, what the 5th house then continues to show us is, well, when it comes to us creating, so us being a father or mother figure ourselves, and how we will approach that area of our lives. So how we will parent, essentially, the type of parental figures that we will be. But the interesting thing about this, guys, is that I have a quick example from my own chart, okay? Is that my mum, she's a Cancer with a Gemini moon, and I was born with a Gemini midheaven. So there's that, suggesting that my mum was more of the authoritative figure within the household, which is kind of true. It's kind of true. And then also my mum has Jupiter in her 5th house in her birth chart, and I have Jupiter conjunct my ascendant. So with that in mind, planets in the 5th house can show us the types of children that we might have in terms of placements. So with me, there was that Jupiter influence because it was so close to my ascendant, to my 1st house, this house of identity. Yeah, I thought that lined up pretty well with the information that I've been learning about when it comes to the 5th house. But then also furthermore with the 5th house is that, well, if we do not sort out our own things, so for example our inner child, which is another 5th house matter, the inner child, right, that part of you that is just wants to be young and carefree for the rest of your life, if that in any way is blocked or repressed or denied when you were younger, there's a possibility that if you do have children, that you might also project those feelings of inadequacy or lack. You may, you're filling a void basically, and so you may project those things, those missing parts of you onto your child, which is why it's good to learn how to integrate the inner child in that way. And I think that that's something to keep in mind when it comes to the 5th house, that even we as parents can project things onto our children, just like our parents projected things onto us. So I believe that's why the 5th house is a powerful house where we can truly connect with our inner child and care for it and just let it out. This could literally just be you as a 30-year-old or a 35-year-old just looking in the mirror and just pulling the most funniest of faces to yourself. This could just be about you as an auntie who is maybe 20 years old, going and taking out your nephew and just going to the park and running around like a maniac. This could be you going for ice cream, chocolate ice cream, because you know that chocolate ice cream was your favorite ice cream when you were 5 years old. Well, we'll go with 8 years old. And so it's igniting those parts of you. Another thing I want to mention though is perhaps the 5th house is also connected with our pregnancy, so the type of pregnancy that we might experience whenever we are having children. But regardless of children, creating children, or even regardless of just the inner child and the importance of integrating the inner child, the 5th house ultimately shows just recreation in general. The pursuit of just creating yourself, recreating yourself, revitalizing yourself, renewing yourself, just doing something even with your hair, something with your lifestyle. It could just be from just performing certain things for ourselves, right? For ourselves. It doesn't necessarily have to be where we get up on a stage and we perform or we dance. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could just be something that we decide, I'm going to make this change, or I'm going to do this thing to recreate myself for me, and I don't have to tell anyone. So for example, maybe you really enjoy makeup, maybe you flippin' love playing around with colors and things, but instead of you taking loads of photos of it, or even going to an event to take part in some sort of makeup event, you just do it at home. You just do it for yourself, and you see that you created that. I think that that's the most important thing with the fifth house and Leo energy in general. It's being able to focus and consciously see what you've created, not so much for others, just for you. Just for you. Of course, that doesn't mean you never share it with others, because that's another thing, is that we can find as well with the fifth house, depending on the energies there, that a lot of us can hold back. We can hold back from sharing what we created with others in fear of what they may say or what they may think. And even if that has happened to us, that can knock us back. That can really hurt our inner child. It doesn't make us feel very special when we get that backlash. So that's another thing. The fifth house can also show us how we create, but then if we really do feel good about what we create. And this leads me on to the last point that I want to touch on when it comes to the fifth house. It is really in connection with our love for things and our enjoyment in things. So, for example, so many of us live certain lifestyles that maybe we don't necessarily enjoy those lifestyles. So we want to change it and make a lifestyle for ourselves that is a lot more enjoyable, because we all, of course, notice within the Western world of the typical 9-to-5 structure that people know that that's the structure, and then the weekend is your sort of recreational pursuits, right? That's the fifth house at the weekend. It's that time. Therefore, the fifth house shows us the very importance of how us as humans, we love to have fun and we love to play. We all have this love for doing things that we enjoy. But you know what? Even the fifth house can show us if our inner child has been damaged in some way. And this leads me back to the parenting side of things, because the important thing to keep in mind is that by us integrating the inner child, we can in turn have much more bonding, connecting relationships with our own children, because we've integrated those parts of ourselves that are so carefree and so childlike and so new and so fresh and so alive. We've ignited those things, we've integrated those things, and so as we enter into becoming parents towards our own children, we'll be able to relate to them a lot better. We'll be able to see and appreciate what they need, how they choose to express themselves. We can guide them, certainly. We can certainly guide them. But we will understand that they are their own living being. They're their own human being. And they're here to create themselves just like we wanted to create ourselves, just like we still want to continue to create ourselves throughout our own lives. It's a house, guys, that we realize that we really don't need to take life all that serious, and that it's possible to do something that you really love and you really enjoy with your life. You can express yourself in whatever way you want. It's just about finding that spark, finding that thing that you can bring, and that stamp that you want to make. However it is, the way that you want to express yourself, create yourself. It's just going with that. And this is what Leo shows us. The importance of not being afraid. To just be yourself. To actualize yourself within the world. So guys, when it comes to the moon and it comes to the sun, this powerful force within your birth chart and just within astrology in general, we realize just how much of a tag team they are. Because whilst the moon is the unconscious drives, the unconscious patterns, the sun is this conscious entity that is really wanting to take it in consciously with awareness. With awareness, it's able to act on things and change things, revitalize things that the moon perhaps does. But in order to do that, the sun must catch the moon. See it. Bring awareness to it. Shine light on it. The light shine the light on it. But also, that sun should dim its light for a while, because the 4th house also shows us when we just are alone in our rooms. You know, I like to look at the 4th house as us being around our family members and things, right? Those parts. But then also within our room. Whilst the 12th house connects in with the 4th house within our room. But then, whenever you're putting your head on your pillow at night and you're dreaming, it's like the 12th house is coming out. It's your pillow. Your 12th house is your pillow, guys. It's those times when we are just still and we are just out of sight. We're out of sight from the world. We're within our own 4 walls, within our own home family unit, and we're out of the public eye. We're out of the public eye in the 10th house. And so through this 4th house, we can certainly nourish ourselves, like I said, and care for ourselves, and we can appreciate our flow. We can appreciate the cycles that we do perform that are really healthy actually for us. They're really healthy. We see that the 4th, the moon, the unconscious, it's always going to be with us anyway. So even though we may bring awareness to our unconscious drives and patterns, and we may change these things, we can do that, but at the same time, all of it is still going into the unconscious, and so we will continue to learn from our cycles and patterns forevermore. Forevermore. You never just get to a point, guys, and that's it. Eureka. Everything is discovered, and I really think that that's one of the key things that we learn from the sun. We can surely find our purpose, and we can surely find a lot about who we are. But then we also realize that who we are is always changing. It's continuously changing. This is what the 4th house shows us. It's the moon, right? It's changeable. 8th house comes along and sheds off the skin for new skin to come. And then the 12th house shows us just how we exist within the collective unconscious, and the collective unconscious exists within us. So guys, I hope that this video made sense and that you find it to be rather useful. Please let me know if you did or not, or if there's any things you maybe want me to elaborate on in terms of these details specifically, let me know. But these are just my ideas. These are my opinions, my thoughts when it comes to the 4th house, 5th house threshold, and I thought that by sharing them it would help. So with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for watching, thank you for subscribing, and I will be back with another video very, very soon.